Once the rig is tensioned, it's time to raise the mainsail. Roll the mainsail out onto the trampoline. Before raising the sails, be sure that the boat is pointing into the wind. Check to be sure that each batten has tension on it and that it's properly cleated. There's a batten adjustment cap on the back of each of the battens. Pull the line with tension and cleat it in the small V-jamb. Tuck the line underneath itself and be sure that there's a knot at the end of the line. Pull tension on each batten just to remove the wrinkles in the pocket. Once the battens are tensioned, you're ready to raise the mainsail. Hook the halyard shackle to the head of the sail and begin to feed it into the luff groove at the mast base. One person should feed the sail into the luff track while the other pulls on the halyard. You can pull the halyard from standing in front of the boat or on the front trampoline. It is easiest to help feed the sail by kneeling or standing in front of the mast, facing the sail. Put one hand on either side of the sail, sandwiching it between your hands. Pull the sail up into the feeder rather than trying to push the sail up into the feeder. When the sail is fully hoisted, pull tension on the halyard and pull the halyard with tension on the center line of the mast in towards the mast. Pull the line all the way up against the mast and then ease off the tension as you pull down on the sail. This will seat the halyard lock into the two-finger prong up near the top of the mast. Tie off the halyard on the halyard cleat at the base of the mast. Hook the main sheet block assembly to the clew of the mainsail. Then pin the main sheet blocks to the traveler car at the rear crossbar. Pass the loose end of the main sheet or tail in through the swivel jam cleat at the rear crossbar, passing through the jaws first and then the deadeye. Pass the line through the traveler car and tie off to the eye strap or pad eye on the back side of the rear crossbar. Use a figure 8 knot shown in your manual as a knot at the end of the line. Tying the end of the main sheet in this way allows you to travel or move the traveler car outboards or keep it in the center line as you choose. This will be symmetrical to the port or starboard side. If you cleat it, the traveler car will move to an equal distance either direction. The downhaul line should be tied to the tack grommet or forward bottom grommet in your mainsail. Pass the downhaul line from the sail down through the cleat, back up through the sail, and then down towards the cleat once again. Pull tension on this line to remove wrinkles from the mainsail luff. After tensioning, tie the line off at the cleat. Unzip and remove the snorkel cover from the jib. Unwind the jib from around the forestay assembly. Pass the jib luff tensioning line down to the shackle on the forestay adjuster. Back up through the jib grommet and then down to the shackle. Pull tension just enough to remove the wrinkles from the luff. This should be done only when the mainsail is sheeted tightly, tensioning the forestay. Be cautious to over-tension the jib luff. Using the furling line that's cleated at the front crossbar, pull on the line to unwind the drum, which will then furl the jib around the forestay assembly. Here we show you the small clip that allows you to furl the jib tightly around the forestay and hold it in that position later for storing underneath the snorkel. At this point, unfurl the jib, which will rewind the drum with the furler line. Pull the jib back and attach the jib sheet blocks to the clew of the jib. Note the routing of the jib sheets travel from the eye strap up to the clew blocks, down to the swivel jam cleat, and then out through the jaws onto the trampoline area. By passing the line on the opposite side, coming through the jaws, through the deadeye, out to the jib sheet clew block, and then down to the eye strap that completes the loop. Your Hobie Getaway is nearly ready to sail. What's left is to mount the rudders at the rear of the hulls. Slide each rudder casting onto the pintles on the left and the right side of the hulls. Please note that there is a left and a right rudder. Take a look at the upper rudder casting and tiller arm. This tiller casting and arm should bow towards the center line slightly. Lock the rudder onto the pintle using the captive pin. Once again, note that the rudders are not symmetrical. There is a left and a right. Shown here is the right rudder assembly with the tiller arm bowing to the left. The left rudder tiller arm bows towards the center line to the right. The Hobie Getaway has been provided with two different types of tiller connectors. In either type of tiller connector system, it's important that the tiller crossbar be right side up. The tiller hinge yoke must be facing upwards and slightly towards the trampoline. In older production models, a stainless steel pin at the end of the tiller arm goes through the end of the tiller crossbar. A stainless steel clip and bungee cord is provided to lock it in place. This is done on both port and starboard ends of the tiller crossbar. Recent versions of the tiller connector system have a flexible joint and a fitting on the tiller crossbar. Pin the tiller crossbar using the quick pin as shown. Once the tiller crossbar is in place, pin the tiller onto the tiller crossbar using the clevis pin and ring. Your Hobie Getaway is ready to sail. Once again, take a close look for overhead power lines that might snag the mast or sail. Be extremely cautious around overhead power lines when rigging or launching your Hobie Getaway. To reinstall the jib snorkel, use the main halyard to hoist the snorkel up the jib. Run the halyard shackle and line underneath the shroud wires and down the forestay. Hook the main halyard shackle to the grommet in the top of the snorkel. Zip the snorkel around the jib and hoist the halyard as you zip the snorkel closed. Before sailing, be sure that you have a riding line in place. The riding line installed or provided with the boat should be attached at the rear crossbar point on either side. The line runs forward up to a stainless ring under the front crossbar and across to the opposite side. This riding line system has a bungee inside of a hollow braid line to keep the line tight up against the bottom of the boat until you're ready to use it. This concludes our trailer rigging section. The next section will cover rigging from the box. This rigging video does not include information about how to sail your Hobie Getaway. If you need information on how to sail, please refer to your Hobie dealer or local sailing club. There are also books and videos available and shown in the Hobie catalog.